Welcome to Ascent. I'm Fiery Grace the Gifted, and today I have a channeled message from your Divine Masculine. I'm going to blush and shuffle, and we'll get started. And just so you know, this is still our channel. We did change our name to better reflect who we are so that people who find us can have a good, clear understanding of what they're going to get while they're here. It doesn't mean our channel's changing at all. It just means that the name is meant to represent us better. But let's go ahead and find out what your Divine Masculine would like to say today. Okay. I'm actually drawn to the Sphinx's sword and the sword here for some reason. I think we should pay attention to that. All right, Ace of Swords, Wheel of Fortune. Taking action, taking the next steps, knowing that fortune is on their side. They're starting to believe that there's something good coming for them. But look at this. Wow. I mean, what a big difference. The light and the darkness, this devil energy. And remember, there's a reason why the devil attacks the masculine energy in the relationship. Because if the divine masculine cannot provide and protect the nurturer, then the nurturer can't nurture. So keep this in mind that your divine masculine may be dealing with a serious attack the closer that they get to stepping into their divine purpose. Wow. And the world. So we have the world, the devil, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Ace of Swords as our overall energy. This is intense, and this is very similar, not necessarily the energy specifically, but the major arcana showing up, that aspect of the energy, very similar to what we've been feeling, I mean, really since February 1st. This is intense, people. Splitting. So what do you... the Star. There's a part of me that feels like the divine masculines have been trying to figure out what's going on with us from afar. And again, I feel like there's a lot of readers who rely on that, and they're always telling you, oh, they're stalking you. And, you know, they kind of make you feel smug and haughty, like, oh yeah, they shouldn't have left and all this stuff. But I don't always get that energy, guys. Sometimes I do, but it's not every day for multiple years that this person is watching you. That's not even reality for most divine masculines. Many of them avoid looking at the thing that is bothering them, whether that's the divine feminine in the situation or whether it's, you know, their bank account or whatever. If they're not happy, they avoid dealing with it until they can fix it. So that should say a lot for you. If they're looking towards you now, I think they're trying to figure out what they can do. They're ready to come in, and they're wanting to make sure. I mean, think about it. Look at this Star card as she is naked, you know, in her element under the starlight. If someone approached me and I was like this, I'm pulling my you-know-what out of my you-know-where, and I'm going to... So I say, you know, divine feminine, be aware that it's been very quiet. It's been very still on the front for a long time. And if your divine masculine just pops in at the wrong moment, you may, it just in being startled and confused or whatever, you may respond to them in a way that they would not be able to handle. And you would probably regret and think, oh, that's not what I meant. Sorry. So what do we need to understand about this? They are watching as they're going through the things they're going through. They're looking and they're recognizing somehow that you're in this energy as well. What do we need to know though? This is okay. Now we have the Empress. So we have every card we've seen except the Ace of Swords has shown up as major arcana. I want to read the Ace of Swords. Something about that feels like we need to look at this. New ideas now take flight. Yes. Expect great inspiration to come. Possibly from an event or situation that had previously troubled you. So they're not just looking to you to make sure it's okay. It seems like they might be looking to you to make sure that they can be properly inspired, okay? And we know as the divine feminine that we are the divine masculine's divine spark. That we, just through how we are, how we live, how we see the world and the spiritual things of, I mean, all of it, they're just so inspired by us. So this tracks, okay? Now you see the opportunity to create something amazing and you're full of excitement. Focus your thoughts on your long-term goals. Now we're talking about long-term goals from the Ace of Swords that we're reading, but that is also the star. Again, I do feel like there is this strange alignment that I think we're not even aware is happening. Yeah, and create a plan of action. You now see the truth of the situation. Confusion is gone and clarity has taken its place. Your new understanding replaces previous misconceptions. Now you're ready to move forward. A challenging beginning, turning a negative into a positive, and a brilliant intellectual solution. They are working through this. They are being thoughtful. They are sure of who you are. They are sure of where you are. Okay. We can see she's by the water. She's building another river, like creating multiple streams of light and flow. And then you can actually kind of see along the background that she sets up her home around this flow. So they're looking to see what you're doing. They're favorably assessing the facts. They're trying to make sure they really understand it because they know that if they can follow your lead, that there will be a positive outcome. So, okay, I think we have an understanding of the situation, but let's actually get the message. Divine Masculine, go ahead. The floor is yours, my dear. That's probably good. All right, so here we go. And, I have a feeling that if I get emotional, I'm not going to remember to do my thing at the end. And so I just want to do it now, right here. If you want to win a free reading at the end of the month, just make sure you leave your comment signature on every comment. On every post or video that you see from us, because I'll just pick a random person and a random comment signature at the end. If you need to work with me, I have phone calls, tarot calls, personal readings, like recordings that you can watch on YouTube, and pre-recorded, like kind of bonus readings, but they're, all encompassing in one. They're usually like 30 minutes to an hour or more. I also have the Twin Flame Reunion Journey Toolkit. Most of the things that I just named are on sale for 33% off this month, so be sure to check that out, thefierygrace.com. Check the pinned comment for that. Everything, right, Grace? You good? All right, let's get into this. Ace of Swords. Remember the Sphinx, Grace, okay? Divine Masculine, major energy, knowing that they're leaving the darkness behind, ready to start something new, looking towards the Divine Feminine for the inspiration. All right. Okay, Divine Masculine. Seven of Swords. Now, some of you are going to go, Grace, you remember the other day? Yes, I remember the other day when I called out this card and said that for the last 6 months, we kept seeing the Seven of Swords in every single deck. I know. I remember. And I'm going to tell you, I feel very, very sure here that the Two of Swords that's remaining here is what needs to be spoken of here. Today, this is what we're talking about. The Divine Masculine is fully aware that you've been on the back burner. In truth, some of them put you there to protect you, which you hear all the time, but you really don't believe it. Because believing that would force you to be patient, like willingly patient. And it's so much easier to just be mad or, in any other negative emotion than to just like have to be okay. So I come to you to say again, your Divine Masculine knows that the intentions of their old life, the things that they used to do, the motivations that they had were negatively influencing the relationship with you, and their ability to clear those things out was hampered by something that they were dealing with. But now they finally get to deal with the thing that they kept saying, I'll get to it, which is the relationship that you guys share. Why is it that, remember I focused on the sword. I said, remember the Sphinx. It's like the only card that wasn't a major arcana was a sword. We talked about this challenging beginning, turning the negative into a positive. So just remember that there's a reason that this is showing up here in the energies that we've seen. Why though? Wow. Because it's time. And if you look at the Six of Wands, I've talked about this before. This person has their wreath on their head, but they're also carrying one on the edge of their wand. And this is to offer love, marriage, commitment, monogamy to their next, or true or, whatever you want to call divine partner. And so I'm telling you, this transformation that this divine masculine is experiencing right now is all about them leaving behind the things that just never served them, that they knew were wrong, or that they, as they started to finally see light and goodness, they realized, wait a minute, if that's what's good, then this is all bad. They've had these moments, and now they can finally do what they've been wanting to do all this time. Remember, with the Six of Wands, there are these 5 wands here, 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 and you can actually see the youths right behind them. And I think what this is saying is, if you think about the 5 of Wands and that immaturity, that kind of childish conflict, that is not just something that was internally happening within your divine masculine. I think that they were experiencing it all around them. And if you think about the 7 of Swords, he's holding 5 swords. And if you think about the 6 of Wands, there's 5 wands in the background. They're both calling us to look at the pain and suffering that the divine masculine was facing, that they knew full well they could not protect you from. They knew they couldn't. But for some reason, there is this surety within them now that they can move forward, that they can finally do what needs to be done. Take you and this situation off the back burner, leave behind the circus and all the nonsense, be more purposeful and intentional in the most positive ways that they now know exist, and move forward in oneness with you. We need to understand these things before we get the message, okay? So if you want to pause and re-listen or whatever you need to do, take a second with that. Okay, DM, what's up? Okay, now, 6 plus 7 is 13. When you heard me just now say transformation and you thought, for those of you who needed it, well, there it is. The old life is done. I don't know what is happening. I have been saying it to Mr. Lightwork for a week now. I don't know what's happening. I've been probably saying it for the whole year, but that was more like I don't know what's happening. Like, like something feels off, but I can't pin it down. Whereas for the last week, I've been saying to Mr. Lightwork, something is happening. Something huge is happening. What's going on? I believe that the divine feminine collective may have been feeling the same thing, unsure of why. I mentioned the other day, like, I'm not into astrology like that. Hey, can someone let me know what's been going on? And some people said, oh, maybe it's because these things went direct, or maybe it's this or this or this. So everyone had a different answer. And I think that the point here is, it doesn't matter what the reason for the transformation is. It doesn't matter where it's coming from in each of our lives. It's happening on a global scale. Your divine masculine needs you to know that the old way, the old day is done. And as they come in with the laurel wreath, the crown of victory, I think that there's this simultaneous energy of them coming through and clearing up the battlefield as well. This may be where, for some of you, if you are in contact with your divine masculine, are confused, because you can see that they are a different person, but you can also see that for some reason they still feel so, like, I guess, drawn to their old life, but in a weird way that you can't pin down. It's because their old life is dead, and it may be their job to go through and just clear the path and clear the way, so that when the time comes for them to truly say, hey, it's our time now, there's nothing stopping them. So be aware, your divine masculine may be more awakened at this moment than you can tell. Not even that you're giving them credit for, but even if you tried to see it, I don't know if you'd be able to. But this is where they want to communicate to you, listen, this shift of leaving behind the old and entering the new is not just about us, it's about everything in my life. Wow. Now, if we remember, we saw, now, again, we're talking major arcana is all we've pretty much seen this entire reading, other than 3 cards? Now we see Judgment, the Star card and the Empress card that we saw before that was talking about the divine feminine, where the divine masculine is looking for help on how to get out of darkness. And I think what this judgment card represents here is they're again trying to favorably assess the facts and really look for the right thing and the good things and follow a path of hope and faith. They're looking to the divine feminine because when they looked up to the angel, when they looked at this situation, remember in the beginning I said it's almost like they're aware. I think when it was when I saw the Ace of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune, it was like they're aware that it's not just like they're lucky or something, that they've never really been lucky or maybe that's all they've ever had, but they've never felt like anybody was looking out for them. And for some reason there is this awareness of something bigger. There is this understanding that there's something beyond them. There's this knowing that they are no longer stuck in the darkness, waiting for the new start. It's here. Wow. So death and judgment, I mean, we are talking about the rebirth of the divine masculine collective. I think my worry is how many divine feminines would rather watch a reading that says that their divine masculine is never going to change. And it's like you're creating this dissonance within yourself, these thoughts that just don't align with the divine truth. And you've really got to be careful who you're watching out here. And I'm not even talking just in general about readers, baby. I'm talking about everybody. Even just relationship guides and gurus can just say some wild stuff, having a bad day or having a bad year or having a bad life, and God only knows how they're encouraging you to do things or say things or just believe things that are not true. Meanwhile, your person is experiencing one of the most powerful transformations of their life, a rebirth like they've never experienced, and you don't even believe it. I mean, this is nuts. Okay, again, death, judgment, the lovers. So far, what's the other card with the angel on it? The judgment, the lovers. Wait, why am I? Balance. So the only thing we're missing is one of the other angels. But there's 3 cards in the Rider-Waite that have the archangels, the primary, and we've got 2 on the table right now. Again, we have only seen out of all these cards major arcana. If you believe that the only way for this to be true is if you felt the major arcana energy in your own life, then you're not going to be able to believe this message from your divine masculine. You're going to say, no, this probably isn't for me because if we're twins, I'm supposed to feel it too. I have to be honest with you, divine feminine. Some of you may have felt this very same energy a long time ago, earlier in your separation, and been sitting in it for so long that it almost, even though it's major and it's huge, it almost became like second nature. Imagine you go to apply for a job as the executive assistant with your favorite celebrity and you get the job. Now imagine 10 years later, they're just a person to you. You know all their flaws, all their faults, and it's not as exciting anymore probably because you're just, you've already met all the other famous people they know, and you've gone to the parties and you've done all the things, and frankly, it's just kind of now become life. See, the truth is sometimes we can get comfortable in energy that is meant to be something bigger, especially if we don't realize what it's for, and it's almost like frustrating. Like, oh yeah, thanks for bringing all this energy my way, but so what am I supposed to do with it? And it's like, no. See, you wanted the energy to be with the person. And when the person wasn't there, it made the energy almost kind of feel like boring. But I'm telling you right now, your person is experiencing this. Mr. Lightwork, we are experiencing this. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to tell you. I don't know what's happening. And it's very interesting because I knew when we hit 2023 that the acceleration for the rest of the decade, I knew it was coming. But I still cannot pin down what's happening right now. And it's everywhere. It's everywhere. So we see this lover's energy. And again, we're being brought. Think about how many times we've seen we saw the devil, we see judgment, we see the lovers, we saw the star card, all of these naked people. And I think this is talking about being so vulnerable. An easy way to put it is, if you've graduated middle school and gone to high school, or graduated high school, gone to college, and that feeling of kind of after those years of getting to the top, to the highest grade and kind of running the school, and knowing everything, and then you have to go to that next phase, and all of a sudden you feel like a kid again, and it's really disconcerting because you know that you're grown, you know that you're mature, and you know that there's many, many multitudes of years behind you of students that you're more mature than, but guess what? They're in the other schools. Now you're here with the kids that are older than you, or with the teens and whatever, the adults that are older than you. And you just feel so vulnerable, so uncomfortable. I remember when I started college, and I remember a girl got the number for there was a directory on the University of Florida campus. You could actually Google, or not Google, but search inside of the directory, and anybody who had their phone numbers or addresses, anything like that listed for, public use. There was a girl who went around, and I was one of her victims. She called everybody that she could, asked them if they had housing, like on campus housing. And if they said yes, she told them that they no longer had housing and they would have to move out of their apartment, and that they were kicked off of campus. And I cried. I was 16 years old. I had just left my family. I cried my eyes out. I truly believed what she was telling me. And in the end, that girl got, expelled. It was actually, she called a lot of people. She pissed off a lot of higher ups. But it was an experience where I was vulnerable. And the only reason I calmed down is because my RA at the time, when I had just kind of talked to her, I think we'd gone to the grocery store together. So I, had that moment where it was everything worked out, and I called her in and I said, "Oh my gosh, Jessica, what am I going to do?" Da, da, da. And she said, "That doesn't sound right." And she calmed me down, and we were able to figure out that was just a prank call, and that this girl was doing it. And I was actually the person that helped them catch her, because I was the last number she called, and I was able to star 60 whatever and get the number. So it was really actually a beautiful moment where I was in a vulnerable position and someone was able to attack me, but by being in the right place at the right time, everything ended up working out really for the better for me and everyone else who was able to kind of get confirmed that they still had housing and to get this, really devious woman off the campus. And so I think it's really special that there's this message coming through saying, look, being vulnerable is scary. And the truth is, you're right to be afraid that being in this position could put you in a place to be duped and tricked and lied to and all these things. But at the same time, you are still you are still wise, and you are still God's. What do I mean by that? That day that I had hung out with my RA and took the bus with her to the Publix and come back, and, my first little college grocery store haul. And that moment, if I had not have had that, I might have just gone crazy in my room. But because I, was under this, blessing of God, I was able to be in the right place at the right time to actually solve the problem. So don't think that just because you're vulnerable, or you feel small, or you're not sure of the lay of the land or how things work, that you can't be used, that you can't do good things. And I think the divine masculine is coming through and saying, look, I'm realizing that even though I feel vulnerable and I'm scared, and I've been vulnerable and scared for a long time, I feel like something's happening. I feel a shaking here, and I know that there is a shift coming. So now I just said to you, when we were looking at judgment, that the divine masculine is looking to you. I was picturing the Lover's card, where I've always shown you guys, DM looks to DF, DF looks to divine, divine looks to divine masculine. So when I'm showing you the judgment card, and we don't even know the Lovers is here, and I'm showing you divine masculine looking up, but look at their hands. They can't trust themselves to outstretch their hands because they just don't understand. So it says, look, now they understand that the best thing they can do is follow the lead of the person who seems to understand. Follow the lead of the person who seemed to know what to do. There is great confidence in being vulnerable, but having someone nearby that you can trust. And I think the divine masculine, as they come in, as they leave behind their childish ways and all the things that kept bringing them these really unfortunate endings and completions that it just wasn't a good season, and many good seasons for them. Now they're coming into a time where they know where to look, who to follow, who to trust, and that their vulnerability can be a strength. They're willing to maintain. You see, they've left the grave. We've got death, we've got judgment, leaving the grave. So we see the rebirth, and then we see the new establishment in this new Eden, in this new paradise. I want you, divine feminines, to start to trust that we know what we're talking about here. We always have. Just because it doesn't always come across the way that you want it or need it or whatever you think, the reality is we were divinely brought to this space as Christians who don't even believe in tarot to not only grab the Christians and say, hey, 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 where's your spirit? Where's your Ruach HaKodesh? You don't have the Holy Spirit? What's going on with you? What are you watching this stuff for? Oh, you needed to learn about twin flames? Yeah, that's how I found this place too. But we also came to help the non-Christians, the people who, hey, you don't believe what we believe, but you know we have sound, solid advice for twin flames and relationships to say, please listen. This is real. This is really happening. These people are really changing, and the world wants you to believe that they'll never change, and the world wants you to believe that all this is just not even like twin flames, but that everything is bullshit. But that's not right. That's not true. And it's okay to be vulnerable and almost feel helpless, but still have hope and still have faith. Again, that's cognitive dissonance right there. If you're in a world surrounded by people telling you that they're never going to change, that they're never going to make the right judgment, that they're never going to be worth it, that you're never going to have a healthy relationship with anybody, let alone this person. No, we came here to speak to your heart and to encourage you to have faith and believe in what you know is true, even when the world or even yourself is trying to say, no, it's not possible. And I think your divine masculine is asking you to come here to this particular channel whether you're weaning yourself off of tarot or learning about the twin flame or even just needing honest, truthful people to come in and not manipulate you. Come here. Let us help you, show you what the divine masculine is really trying to say, what they're really doing in their life. So, okay, this is all major. If we had all major, that would be too much. So I think we need to talk a little bit more about like the real world stuff, right? So, okay, divine masculine, you're reborn. You are understanding that the only way for you to really do this big grand thing that you know needs to be done is to follow the divine feminine's lead. To be vulnerable, to allow this to happen. So why are you telling us about this transformation? I knew this wasn't going to be. I could feel that this wasn't major arcana, and we're seeing the Queen of Wands, and look at this. They are telling you that they know that this feels kind of familiar. We've done this before. We've heard this before. But it's not, okay? It's not the same as it was before. It's not the same thing. They're not the same as they were before. And you, as the Queen of Wands, as the queen of this vision of their future that they have, you need to understand that just because you felt this energy before doesn't mean that you're interpreting it the right way. Just because you've been there, done that, doesn't mean that every single variable is going to be exactly the same. And I think that there is some sort of awareness within them that they have changed in the past, sometimes for the worse, I know, but they have made some changes here and there, and things have been different, sure, here and there, but in all reality, it wasn't enough. And obviously it wasn't enough if you didn't get into union, right? Obviously it wasn't enough if there was still all these things missing. So I think what they're saying to you right now is, don't hang me, okay? Don't stone me, okay? Don't assume that I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do simply because when you tried to trust me, when you tried to, that I wasn't fitting the mold, I wasn't doing what needed to be done, or it didn't look like I was. I need you to trust that what we're meant to do and what we're meant to create together, okay? What we're meant to create together is going to come to pass. That I have a deep passion to experience this, and I want to do it right this time. I need you to trust that whatever has happened before, I know many of you believe in karma, right? Like that There is a way when you're reborn that you can start fresh. Again, if you believe in like reincarnation and all, again, I don't know enough about that stuff. It's not, I don't believe in it. It's not my thing, but you're going to have to translate this message as you need to. But I'm telling you right now, from my divine understanding, from my prophetic downloads, that when you are reborn, you are made new. The filthy rag is washed whiter than snow, my dear. So I'm trying to say to you right now, your divine masculine is asking you to sit boldly on this throne, to shine brighter than you've ever shined before, to remember that you are the divine spark that they are looking to, and that they are just as vulnerable as you in the spirit, even if in the real world we're all supposed to play strong. Why is this so important right now? Ugh. You heard me? You hear me, right? Play strong, and now we see strength come out. I'm telling you, the divine masculine is aware of what you've been facing. Look at the lions on the throne. You hear me when I say be bold, be strong, and then the strength card literally comes out? I can feel transformation. I can feel that. You see, I can sense these things happening here. And there has to come a point where if you're going to follow someone and you think to yourself, man, she's a prophet. Yes, you need to use discernment and know that not every single message is for you and not every single message inside the message is for you. I'm talking to thousands of people at once, but you also need to trust when in your gut you know it's real, even if your mind is playing tricks on you. That's called the battlefield of the mind. And in the past, you have done things and been there for your divine masculine in a way that made them feel strong, even though they were weak, that made them feel whole again, that made them feel good. And if you are not able to remind yourself of who you are while they're trying to look to you to remind them of who they are, then they're not going to be able to do this. There are so many divine feminines who hear something like that and get angry. But I believe that you are so wrapped up in the worldly approach that you are no longer as awakened as you think, because you've allowed your anger towards the situation and your anger towards divine for how long it appears to be taking, and your anger towards yourself for even getting involved in this to block your truth, your blessings, and the real reality of what's playing out here. You are divine. If you're drawn to a channel like this, especially now that we've changed our name, honey, you can't deny it. You can't deny it. You are pure. You are wonderful. You are beautiful. And as you move forward and this person finally steps into the divine role that they were always meant to play all along, you're going to have these experiences where the devil, the darkness, the evils, whatever tries to come with you and tries to come and make you think that all of this was just some sort of illusion, so that you won't step up, so that you won't shine bright. But as the lighthouse in this dynamic, the divine masculine needs you shining more than ever. They're coming home in the middle of the night. They have no idea. They have been gone so long, they don't even remember the coastline. And what if it's changed? What if there's been erosion here and, maybe a new rock popped up there? And they need you to shine brighter than ever. And all you have to do that is believe that you are a divine feminine that has a light bright enough. That's it. They've been depending on you for so long, and it can be so draining. They have been away for so long that maybe your love jug is kind of empty now. But it's like Hercules. Remember that movie? He drank almost he drank almost all of the mortal potion to turn him into a mortal, except for that one drop. And that one drop that he didn't drink that was supposed to, I think, kill him actually, if not just make him mortal, made him mortal, but very, very what? Strong. That's you. That's you. You will be restored, my dear. You will be brought to fullness, not just by coming into union with your person, but by stepping into your light work. Honey, I tell you, it's real. It works. But what I need you to understand is there's a reason why divine even allowed everything to happen the way that it did, to take away your strength, because you needed to know everything you've learned. Would you really take back your separation experience? Look at who you've become. Even if there's some bitterness in there or some anger in there, or you don't like how you respond to people or how isolated you've become. I know there's some negatives, right? But in truth, the way that you think, the way that you see the world, the way that you operate now is so blessed. Can you really deny that? No, you know you're more beautiful than ever. Even if you've been in your ugly hermit phase with the scraggly chin hairs, remember? Even that. I want you to know that your divine masculine needs your strength right now, just like they always have. And as bad as it might feel to have to step up for someone who you feel is supposed to be the one to step up, let me assure you that there will be moments in the relationship in the future when you are in union where sometimes they're going to have to step up for you because you're going to be too weak to do anything. A lot of people, they don't like the whole 50-50 thing in relationships, but it's like, again, sometimes when we're using parables or stories or allegories to try to describe things, more than one can be true. So yes, I do like when people say, hey, it should be 100-100, right? We shouldn't give 50-50, we should be 100-100. Sure. But if we're talking about, 100% capacity of the two of us in our oneness, some days it's going to be 80-20, right? Because all I've got to give is 20%. That's my best. But in that moment, my partner, who, because we're so balanced, most of the time we're doing 50-50, they don't mind stepping up and doing 80-20. Because a couple months ago, we had to do 70-30 and I was the one doing it. You see? So I want you to understand that it might feel really hard during separation, but you really have to trust that a divine masculine, once you get into union, is not going to keep being in this imbalanced state. In fact, because of what they've done, because of what they've allowed, because of how bad things were in the past, they're most likely going to spend the early parts of your relationship overdoing it, kind of taking your chance to even give that much. So be who you must be in the moment. Please. Why? Because out of this beautiful, wonderful flow that we have all entered into will come like manna from God. There's so much goodness coming. There's so much new opportunities. There's so much spiritual growth. Our intuition has been enhanced, like complete zoom in here. It's amazing. And if we tell ourselves, I just can't do this anymore, I'm not strong enough, I don't even believe that they're changing, when the love comes, it's going to be more like Four of Cups than the Ace of Cups. We're going to look at it and just be like, whatever. I've seen that card before. Well, of course you've seen that card before. Look at how much damn tarot you watch. Most of if it's not an oracle deck, it's all going to be based on the Rider-Waite setup. Of course you've seen the Ace of Cups thousands of times. Don't blame your watching tarot and not having the discernment necessary to know what the Ace of Cups means in the moment on anybody. When I read my Bible and I read the same verse that I read in 2018 and 2015 and 2013 and 2011 and so on and so on and so on, and I get something different out of it every time, I don't look at the verse and say, I've read this before. I look at it and I say, I'm new. I'm stronger. I'm more sure of my faith. I'm working in a different capacity in the kingdom. This verse will very likely have more to reveal itself to me in this moment. So when you're watching tarot, if you're going to do it and you're going to watch this for a lifetime, if this is going to be your thing, or even if you're just going to do it during separation, or again, even if you're trying to wean yourself off of it, you cannot allow yourself to get caught up in the I've heard it all before thing. Every deck is damn near the same. You're going to get the same messages if you're looking at the cards for what they are. That's why you go to a reader who gives you an interpretation, who shares the stories with you to help you connect the dots. If you look at this Ace of Cups and think to yourself, oh, sure, right, yeah, new love, then what's the point of even watching? At this point, it really is just pure entertainment. There's no ascension necessary. Just watch it because I'm bored. I don't have anything else to do. I'm used to the pictures. What does this mean to you when your divine masculine directly underneath the judgment, where look what we rise out of our graves from after death, and now from strength to strength and glory to glory, you see this lifting up of love, a love that no one could stop, a love that is so beautiful that it overflows. Your divine masculine sees this ahead. They know that it's coming. That's the one thing that they are sure of in all of this. They might have been confused by whatever came through in the judgment, but look, they knew to look to you. They may have been aware that they're this kind of coming in that they're planning on doing. It's almost too familiar. We've been there, done that, and yet they're saying, no, listen, it's bigger than it seems. What do they want you to understand about this love that they believe is coming? Wow. Oh, okay, Grace, don't start. It's the Emperor. You know, I really didn't think it was possible for us to have this many major arcana cards on the table. I didn't think that this reading would look like this. I honestly thought after these first three but no. What do they want you to know about this new love? That it is the old love. The old love that they didn't think was even worth anything. It was like an antidote that they drank years before, but it didn't seem to actually work until now. And suddenly they see themselves and they know who they are and they know who they're supposed to be. And they know that now is the time. The sun is setting on who they used to be. The sun is rising on who they will be forever. And they believe that it's time for them to stand in authority in this divine love that you share. Ultimately, what is the purpose of this reading? Why? I keep seeing the Sphinx. What is, all right, I'm going to look up the symbolism for the Sphinx because I feel like we didn't see that, but there was something about Sphinx symbolism. The guardian figure, protector of the pyramids. Wow. The lion embodies, oh, Sphinx. That's this. The lion embodies tremendous strength and authority, and the human represents intelligence and leadership. They're not just telling you to be strong for you. They really are saying, show me how to be strong for me, because this is how I become who I'm supposed to become. So this is them sending out a message that says, I am desperately in need of someone to provide and protect for, right? Or, you know, I need to be your person. And the sword, turning the negative into a positive. Okay. Wow. And the final card is the Fool. Look at the sun rising on the new day. This is incredible. This is them. This is them. They're ready. They want to take the leap. They want it. And I think that what they're letting us know is in their bag. You guys have heard me say this before, that in the bindle here, they've got, you know, a cup, a sword. They've got the wand here. And then they have a pentacle in here. And you can kind of see, this is the cup from the Six of Cups. They plucked the flower out to protect the flower. Not really protect, it's going to die, but still, it would have gotten crushed in here. And they put all their stuff in their bag and they go on their way. But what stands out the most? It is the wand of inspiration. For some reason, there's so many divine feminines who cannot understand that they truly are their divine masculine's divine spark. They cannot understand that sitting in nasty, negative energy that, let's be real, frankly, some of you, it does not stem from being a twin flame. I have that. I have that past energy that I still have to work through to this very day and will for the rest of my life have to work through. I come from a family of dysfunctional, gossiping people, of people who had a lot of jealousy issues and all these things. And so certain things I luckily never really worried about, never had to deal with. I'm not really a jealous person, but dysfunctional and having to like not allow strife, because that was my problem as the black sheep. I didn't want the pain. I just wanted the family together. I just wanted the traditions to continue. Why don't we go to so-and-so's house anymore? We did it for many years. We did it every New Year's and every 4th of July for childhood. Why don't we do that anymore? Do you know how annoying that is to a family that is dysfunctional, who just says, oh my gosh, get over it. Just deal with it. Who fucking cares? It's over. It's over. No, there's something here that says, look, that weird sense that you have of that it's possible to come back together and that love can conquer and all those things. You're not the only one who has that, but you're also affected by that. And when you have bad things happen to you or bad situations or, you know, people that hurt you when they're supposed to love you, it can really just validate that your family was right. We should have never have stayed together. You know, we should have just let everything go. And so you have to work through that stuff. And the twin flame journey does not just create bitterness, it compounds it. Some of you have anger and pain and trauma that you need to deal with that has nothing to do with your divine partner. but the way that you talk about them is as if they're the one to blame for all your life problems. And I think what this is saying is, if your divine masculine is ready to come through, guess what? They probably got the laurel wreath in there too now, right? They put it in their bindle, depending on which of these Six of Wands or Fool cards comes first in terms of the storyline. It's like your divine masculine. I just realized we've got all wand. Anyways, your divine masculine is realizing that they have to be open, honest, and real with you. They have to come and find you, and they need you to be as encouraging as possible, kind of like how you were when you guys kind of first got together before the pain started. That's why you're so sad, because you want to get back to that. You want to get back to that feeling of everything's going to be okay and everything is really beautiful and finally we're free and we can live a good life. And then, separation came and you went right back into that old way of thinking, right back into that old stuff. And many of you through your ascension have worked your butt off to stop having those kinds of thoughts. But unfortunately, some of that old stuff is still coming up. And I think your divine masculine is realizing that's happening in their life. They're realizing that, yes, they're, reborn and that the judgment has come, and they realize that there's a new path that they must take, a divine path, that one that they need to follow you and your light and your truth and your strength and that love. Oh, the love is going to be beautiful and pure, and it's going to come from somewhere they don't even know. But at the same time, they must take authority over their kingdom. They must start fresh and be willing to admit that anything they bring with them into this new season that has not been tried and tested and proven that it deserves to be there is only going to continue the generational curses and all the negativity and all the horrible things. Your person is letting you know you're not the only one feeling all this intense energy. And if you haven't noticed it yet, I'm gonna have a feeling you're going to start to feel it. They're letting you know you're not the only one dealing with the past fears. You're not the only one who desperately wants to just share life with a partner and build a beautiful family and start your own tradition. You're not the only one. They want that too. And yet they've also had to fight tooth and nail through this divine order, that divine setup that none of us could shake, none of us could stop. We have to move forward in this. We have to believe. We have to trust. And the truth is, many of you need to look to your belief systems, right? Again, I can only speak to the Christians because that's the only thing I'm an expert in. But if you have some other belief system, you need to look at what it says about divine love. You need to look at what it says about, a benevolent universe or whatever. Because if it doesn't, and you're here, you're not going to like anything I say. If you have a belief system that says that, nothing ever works out for you, and that's all you've ever been taught, you're going to think I'm lying to you. But honey, my people, they know it's true. I wish a Christian would come in here and tell me I'm wrong, because y'all know true. Y'all know full well that y'all ain't even who I be arguing with. It's because you know that what I'm speaking comes from a place that it's irrefutable. So you've got to figure out for you, where is my truth? Where is my center? How can I get back to shining my light so that my person can find their way home? They're looking towards me. They're trying to find their divine spark again. What is it that I need to do? Do I need to learn how to make a fire? What do I need to do to get the ball rolling to bring light back into my situation? And if you've been feeling good lately and you've been feeling this intensity, what this says is you're going to have to maintain your Empress energy. Don't forget, she's not on the table right now, but we saw her. Again, we in a reading that had, 10 plus the 4 from before. So 4 out of 14 cards, only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 9 out of the 14 cards we saw today in this reading are major arcana. I need you to understand, this is huge energy. This is huge happenings, okay? And you as a divine feminine are an equal part of this. Your divine masculine needs you, but guess what? You need them too. So don't look at it as, I always have to do the work. That's those other readers getting you into bitterness. Why are you always picking on the divine feminine? That's your trauma telling you that because I'm telling a truth about this person that I must be speaking ill about others. That's a worldly issue right now. If I'm not on your side in every possible way, I'm against you. That is not how it works. So again, if you are struggling to believe this, I suggest you do watch more of our content. I suggest you give yourself maybe even a fast from tarot in general so that you can get yourself back. Because unfortunately, just like watching this, you're going to get like the Christian perspective and all that from Grace and Mr. Lightwork. Well, guess what? Whoever you watch, you're going to get whatever their foundation is as their perspective. And if you watch, let's say you've got like 15 readers that you really love, and maybe you watch some other people, but you always, these 15 people, whenever they put content out, you watch it. Well, guess what? You're creating dissonance in your mind every day because every single one of these people cannot possibly be teaching the same thing. Similar-ish, maybe, but not the same. And every single one of them is coming in not only with different probabilities and different readings and different energies, but different personal understandings and ideas. If you need to step away from us so that you can get back to yourself, do it. I've been telling people to stop watching tarot my entire ministry, so I'll miss you. Please say goodbye before you leave if you leave permanently. I'm serious. If you've been on a phone call with me, you've heard me say, if we never talk again because you've decided to rely on your own intuition, all I ask is that you invite me to the wedding or at the very least send me a picture. You've heard me tell people say, oh, so what's the next step? What do we do next? And I say, what do you mean? Oh, when I work with other readers, they'd always have this path for me. Oh, you mean a funnel? You mean a sales funnel? No, I don't have that. If you need me, let me know. If not, there's no requirement. I cannot promise you reunion. I cannot promise you if you do my program that you'll be happy. But what I can do for you is bring you peace, love, and light on your journey as you decide what's best for you. If that's what you want, stick around. If that's what you're looking for, this was a little bit more preachy than I meant it to be, but honey, I'm so sorry, but the major arcana did it to me. To me, major arcana is God. So I'm sorry. I can't get away from that part. But in truth, all of my messages come from that place because it's just who I am. I hope I can help you. Even if you don't believe what I believe, I hope I can help you find your surety, your center, your confidence in what you need to do because your person sees what's happening. Your person knows who you are to them. Your person wants to start fresh. And I think that they're aware that whatever they start now, this is it. And for some of you, you know that's true just because of how old you are, right? Some of you are in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and you're thinking, yeah, I'm not starting over again in 15 years, man. I'm not doing this again. And your divine masculine's in the same space. But this is where it gets interesting is what about those of you in your 20s and 30s? Where your divine masculine is thinking like that. And it's kind of like, that seems a little fatalistic. Why are you thinking like that? And it's because your divine masculine knows that there is something that they're meant to be a part of now at the grassroots level. And they've got to get in. They've got to do it now. There is no other choice. And I think that many of you feel the exact same way. You've been feeling it, especially if you've been on this journey for a few years, like, okay, this is cool. Okay, maybe not so cool. Okay, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And now it's like, it's not even about the journey. It's not even about reunion. I cannot waste my time and my energy anymore. I have to do what I've been called to do with or without them. That's what divine was waiting for, babe. That's what God was waiting for. So if you're ready, if you believe, I want you to type in the comments, here I am. That's it. Here I am. I believe some of you understand what that is. Hinenu. Okay. Some of you understand, but if you don't understand, but it feels right, type it because you're going to remember it. That's why you always hear me tell you guys, write stuff down, type it up. Don't forget it. Don't just let it float around in your head. Well, Grace, why am I saying here I am? Because your divine masculine is looking for the lighthouse. Because divine is looking for the workers. Because divine is calling you. And for so long you've said, I'll get to it. Maybe okay. Here I am. Let's do this. Let's go. I got you. What you need. Here I am. Okay? All right, I thought this was going to be really emotional, but I feel power right now. I feel intense power. And I believe that the divine masculine is calling out to the divine feminine in a space of power. And that's pretty wild because they're calling from a vulnerable position. They're calling from a space of, I'm not sure about this. But that day, when that girl called me and I found out she was pranking me, oh, I had something for her. I knew what I could do. I went and grabbed my phone. Beep, boop, boop, boop. She picked up. Got your ass. I'm telling y'all, there is a way. You can always make a way. I'm telling you to trust whoever you believe in. But especially if you trust God, stop acting like you don't serve a God that is so glorious, so wonderful, so amazing, so perfect. Stop it. You're being ridiculous. You need me to calm down, Martha. Pop, pop, pop. Throw some water in your face. Ooh, ooh, snap out of it. I got you. Good things are coming. It's up to you to say, here I am, to step into that role and do it. And as I've always said, if you're a light worker and you say, here I am, honey, your divine masculine ain't that far behind. I got to get going. I love you. I'll talk to you later. Peace.